Hello, I'm Dr. Charlotte Middleton and welcome to today's video, Eat Fat, Get Healthy, where I debunk one of the most commonly held myths that eating a low-fat diet can be good for you. I'm particularly excited to be talking about this topic today. As an integrative or holistic GP that specialises in nutritional medicine, it's a topic that I talk about daily with my patients. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to talk about it today to the masses via this video. So one of the biggest myths out there is that the low-fat, high-carb diet, so you know the 9 to 11 servings of grains and cereals recommended every day, is in fact healthy for you. And in fact, fats have gotten a pretty bad rap over the last few decades or so in our fat-obsessed culture. For decades, we've been told to avoid fatty foods like coconuts, avocados, eggs, full-fat dairy, butter, and even the fatty cuts of meats. And we're all told that they're bad for us. And in fact, dietary policy has focused on reducing as much fat in our diets as we can, and as little as 20 to 30% of our calories are now made up of fat, and in fact, in some cases, even lower. The problem with this is it has been completely detrimental to our health. There is no coincidence that the introduction of the low-fat diet and high-carb diet has coincided with a massive increase in the rise of diabetes and obesity. Now, I know it's not the sole problem, but it has been a major contributor. What we need to realise is that healthy fats are an essential nutrient and one of the primary sources of energy for our body. They also play a big role in weight management, absorbing nutrients, maintaining healthy skin and hair, regulating body temperature, supporting immune function, and insulating internal organs in a good way, and hormonal balance. And you can see straight away why there are just so many low-fat diet risks to be aware of. Now granted, not all fats are created equally and not all affect the body in the same way. So the processed or refined fats that are found in baked and boxed goods and most restaurant meals can in fact be harmful. Now this includes the trans fatty acids and the so-called healthy vegetable oils. So the safflower, sunflower, corn and canola oils are anything but healthy. But there are other types of natural fats that have beneficial life-extending properties. So these are things such as coconuts, the milk, water and oil, avocados, eggs, extra virgin olive oil, full-fat dairy, butter, ghee and even saturated fat from animals. And if we miss out on these healthy fats in our diets, we quickly find ourselves feeling tired, moody, constantly hungry, unable to kick cravings and resentful of our restrictive diets. Now, as I've highlighted, there are just so many different reasons why low-fat diets are bad for us. What I'm going to do today, though, is focus on just 3 of those, so brain function, heart health, and hormonal balance. And then in a part 2 of this video next week, I'm going to focus on just how low-fat diets are detrimental to trying to lose weight and maintaining weight, and how, in fact, including healthy fats in your diet will actually aid you in weight loss. So stay tuned for part 2 of this video next week. But today, as I said, I'm going to focus on just a few other reasons. So the first one is that of brain function. And what we know is the brain is largely made up of fat and needs a steady stream of fatty acids to function optimally. Now, there seems to be especially a protective factor when it comes to cholesterol. And cholesterol has an extremely important role and is a critical brain nutrient. And it's essential to the function of neurons and neurotransmitters. So despite what most people think, very low cholesterol levels are in fact worse for you than high. The brain basically requires a high amount of cholesterol as a source of fuel of energy, and it gets that from our bodies. Now, in fact, it uses 25% of our body cholesterol. So what it needs is it needs us to eat a good, healthy amount of cholesterol, so from things like eggs, and the rest of that cholesterol is made naturally in our livers. And what this means is that a low-fat diet can in fact confer poor job performances, low energy, changes in our mood, or particularly brain fog and so on. And that's why some of the best brain foods to boost focus and memory actually have high levels of healthy fats. Now, the second reason why low-fat diets are not good for us is compromised heart health. Now, I realise this is contrary to what everyone has been told over the years, and what we've been led to believe is in fact the exact opposite. But research continues to confirm that heart disease, including coronary artery disease, the leading cause of heart attacks, likely has much more to do with inflammation. And in fact, that really is the root cause of many lifestyle diseases out there now, rather than a high fat or cholesterol intake. And what this means is that an inflammatory diet full of sugar, refined carbohydrates, low quality proteins, and those processed vegetable oils is in fact more threatening to your heart than a diet high in fat, and that includes even saturated fats. It is much more beneficial for your heart to eat anti-inflammatory foods that contain healthy fats. Think about it this way. The glorified Mediterranean style diet that is high in fats from extra virgin olive oil, nuts and fish, and exceeds over 40% of calories coming from fat, which exceeds far what the government recommends, has time and time again been shown to significantly reduce cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and long-term weight gain. And data from a long-running nurses' health study has actually supported this, where it showed no increased risk of cardiac disease in women on higher fat diets. And in fact, when you think about it, European countries and other countries around the world that have higher saturated fat intakes actually have less heart disease. And I know this is contrary to what we've been told previously. The third reason for ditching that low-fat diet is due to a low-fat diet causing hormonal imbalances, and that includes the sex hormones testosterone and estrogen. What we know is that eating healthy fats is actually one of the most important things you could do to balance your hormones naturally. Cholesterol and other fats play a fundamental part in building cellular mechanisms and hormones. And in fact, cholesterol is one of the most important fats. It also acts like an antioxidant and precursors to some of the most important brain-supporting molecules and neurotransmitters. One of these includes vitamin D, which actually acts more like a hormone than a vitamin in our body, and along with other hormones such as testosterone and estrogen. One scary low-fat diet risk is that there has been shown an increased risk of infertility and other hormonal issues in women. And some studies have found that low-fat diets actually raise the risk of menstrual problems and difficulty getting pregnant. For example, a 2007 study from the Harvard School of Public Health found that a high intake of low-fat dairy foods could increase the risk of infertility, whereas an intake of high-fat dairy actually decreased this risk. So I hope I'm convincing you somewhat to ditch that low-fat diet and start including healthy fats in your diet. Next week, as I said previously, I'm going to talk about how including healthy fats in your diet can actually aid in weight loss. If you have any questions or concerns about the information that I've provided today, please don't hesitate in talking to your doctor further about it. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now.